This is Basketball History 101 with Rick Loayza.
Welcome back to award-winning Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network. I am your host, Rick Loayza, and this is the podcast where we bring to life some of the forgotten stories from basketball history. We are bringing old school basketball to a new school audience, and today we bring you the story of how Julius Erving became the Doctor. We did an episode a while back about how Irvin Johnson got his nickname, Magic. It was given to him by a local Michigan sports writer named Fred Stabley Jr. But today, we're going to talk about how Julius Erving became known as Dr. J, or sometimes just the Doctor. Now, Julius was the middle of three children born to Julius Sr. and Callie Mae Erving. However, his parents divorced when he was around 3 years old. He rarely saw his father after that, and he was essentially raised by a single mom. Although he did have extended family nearby, which did create a solid environment for young Julius. His older sister Frida was 3 years older, and his younger brother Marky was 3 years younger. And he was raised in the early years in Hempstead, Long Island, just outside of New York City. But let's fast forward a little bit to the summer of 1964. Julius was about to start high school, and that was when his mother announced that she was getting married again and that the family was going to move to Roosevelt, Long Island. Each of the kids reacted differently to the news. On one hand, they were moving from a small, cramped apartment to a proper home with far more space than they had before. Each of the kids was going to get their own bedroom. For Frida, it was devastating news. She was about to start her final year of high school and now had to switch to a new school where she did not know anyone. Julius was not quite as devastated, but was sad that he was not going to get to play basketball with his friends that he had grown up with. The move was going to mean making new friends and playing with new teammates at a new high school. And little Marky was just happy that the family was moving together, and he liked the idea of his own bedroom. So off to Roosevelt they went. Now, to the kids, it felt like moving across the country, but in reality, their old high school and their new high school are only 13 minutes apart by car. It really wasn't that far, but the implications of a new school and having to make new friends was definitely real. And it did not take Julius too long to make new friends. He was such a nice person and a naturally gifted athlete that everyone wanted to be on his team at the local parks for pickup basketball. Even at just 14 years old, he was already out-jumping men 10 years his senior. He was snatching rebounds all over the place, and at 14, he was not even quite 6 feet tall yet. He was still very much a kid, but you could see the potential already. He quickly made friends with Leon Saunders, another player who was about to start high school and be part of the basketball team. Julius and Leon played hundreds, if not thousands, of games of one-on-one against each other, and in all of those games, Julius says that Leon won maybe once. And Leon would argue every call. Often, he would go into a lecture about how to better position yourself for a rebound, or how best to get your defender off balance. The games would often come to a halt so that Leon could deliver a full explanation of whatever it was he wanted to talk about. Leon understood the game better than most players, but he did not have that superior athletic ability that Julius had. And one day, after one of Leon's long-winded theses on why he should get to shoot 2 free throws and still keep possession of the ball, it finally was too much for Julius, and he said, quote, "Man, I should call you the professor. Everything becomes a lecture with you," unquote. And then Leon said, "Well, if I'm the professor, then you're the doctor." Julius had no idea where that came from, but Leon continued, "Because you have more moves than Dr. Carter has liver pills." Well, that really made no sense. Dr. Carter was a brand name for a pain medication that could be bought at any pharmacy. Now, while the origin of the name made no sense at all, the name itself, well, that stuck because Julius was already starting to dominate the playground courts, and the nickname started to work its way around the courts of Roosevelt. When Julius made a particularly impressive move, people would say that the doctor is operating. Or when Julius simply showed up for a game, they would say, the doctor is making a house call. The name, the Doctor, became so synonymous with Julius Erving that many forgot or never even knew what his real name was. He was just the Doctor. So he made his way through high school and quickly became a modestly recruited player. And while he definitely had talent, his lack of height was working against him. He eventually landed at the University of Massachusetts, or UMass for short. UMass was not considered a basketball powerhouse at all, at least not back then. And when he began his time at college, he was only 6'2", which is nothing spectacular by basketball standards. But over the course of his first year at UMass, he grew 4 inches to reach his full height of 6'6". And his skills had improved significantly. Very quickly, he went from being a very good college player to possibly the best college player in the entire country. Due to his significant improvement, he only played 3 years instead of the usual 4 years because the ABA came calling and offered him more money than he or anyone in his family had ever seen if he would just leave school early and join the Virginia Squires. Now, I need to share this before I continue with Dr. J's time in the ABA. For many summers, Julius Erving went home to New York and competed in the famous Rucker tournament. As he became a better player, he became an increasingly bigger draw for the tournament. There is a photo out there of what has got to be the largest crowd that I have ever seen for a playground game. The crowd was packed in like sardines around the court. There are kids hanging from tree branches. There were a bunch of people watching from the roof of the school that was next to the court, and they were all there to see one player, the Doctor. He was able to get bigger crowds to come watch him play on a playground court than he would get for some of his professional ABA games, which is wild when you think about it. There at the Rucker tournament is where the name The Doctor was really solidified and became known throughout the entire city of New York. He absolutely destroyed people in the Rucker tournament. And back then, the Rucker would bring in NBA and ABA players to join teams alongside top college players and talented amateurs. Wilt Chamberlain had played in the Rucker a few times. So did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Connie Hawkins, Earl the Pearl Monroe, and other basketball Hall of Famers. But Dr. J, he was the main event. Now, as for the ABA, he quickly became the most exciting player in that league. The guy averaged 27 points and nearly 16 rebounds per game as a rookie. He took the league by storm, and after 2 years with the Squires, his contract was sold to the New York Nets, where he played for 3 years and won the league MVP award all 3 years. He also led the Nets to 2 ABA championships during those 3 years. And in the summer of 1976, when the ABA and the NBA were set to merge, the most exciting part of the merge for NBA fans was that they would finally get a chance to see this Dr. J that they had heard so much about. He had become a mythical figure to NBA fans who only had a chance to hear about it or read about it in terms of what he was doing in that other league. His numbers went down a bit when he joined the Philadelphia 76ers as part of the merger, but that was only because he was joining a team that was already stacked. Among his teammates on the Sixers were Henry Bibby, Fred Carter, Doug Collins, Harvey Catchings, Daryl Dawkins, Mike Dunleavy, Caldwell Jones, George McGinnis, Steve Mix, and World B. Free. That was already a winning team. And then they added Dr. J. They went all the way to the NBA Finals in Dr. J's first year in the NBA in 1977, but they lost to the Trailblazers. 3 years later, in 1980, they went to the Finals again, but lost to the Lakers. In 1982, they went once more and again lost to the Lakers. But in 1983, they added Moses Malone, and the 76ers won the 1983 NBA championship. Dr. J is still the only player to win the league MVP award in both the ABA and the NBA, and one of a very small group of players to win championships in both the ABA and NBA. And he is also part of another very small group of players who went to the All-Star game in every season that he played, both ABA and NBA. He is truly one of the greatest players of all time, and the nickname of Dr. J is absolutely perfect for him, even if the origin of the name made no sense at all. So here's to the Doctor, one of the best nicknames in basketball history. Well, that is it for today. Join us next time when we share another story from basketball history. That's next time on Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network, the headquarters of Sports Yesteryear. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com to find out more about this and other sports history podcasts. If you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our page on Facebook. It's called Basketball History 101 Podcast. There you will find short historical posts, and I'll also announce there when new episodes come out. I want to thank my producer and editor, Jacob Loayza. Join us each week as we continue to mine the history of basketball for more great stories from the past. Take care, and see you soon.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.